Alright guys, we're up to number 7 in our power ranking countdown series. And here is probably where I'm going to get a little bit of grief, because I've put the Chaos Space Marines at number 7. I've actually had a few people say that the Demonkin, Khorne Daemonkin, is actually better than Chaos. But here's really the reason why I have Chaos at number 7. Is, unlike the Demonkin, Chaos Space Marines, you can really, you're not locked into one particular Chaos God. You could play as Khorne, you could play as Tzeentch, Slaanesh, Nurgle. Or you could actually have various combinations of the 3 or 4. But at the same time, Chaos Space Marines, in compared to their loyalist counterparts, I feel have a little bit more shenanigans. Would really be doing an injustice, but they have more unique abilities because they still act like a legion and not the chapter setup we have for vanilla Marines. But again, that's where the downside comes from, because with regular Space Marines, you get access to various weapons. Lash cannons, grav cannons, Centurion war suits, Thunderhammer storm shields. Whereas with Chaos, you don't get the access to those. The same for vehicles, which really, in a way, kind of strike me as fascinating, because you would think, with them being essentially tainted versions of Space Marine legions, they would have had access to the same things. So you would think that Chaos would have access to Land Raider Crusader, Land Raider Redeemer, Storm Talons, Storm Ravens. But yet they don't. And I think that's one of the things that kind of hurt the Chaos Space Marines from maybe making a push to the top 5. But they still have unique abilities that really kind of give them a little bit more of an edge. And Chaos has, even now, for me personally, has been a very, very tough fight on the table. And I don't know why. I mean, they have essentially the same stats. 3 up armor, or 2 up armor if they're using Terminators. So you think it would be the same thing. You get enough shots into them that they would go down, but yet they have that uniqueness to really, really shake off a lot of those dice. And even then, you add a 5-up feel no pain, like some models do. Now you're talking really good survivability. And I thought a 2-up armor, 5-up invuln for Terminators was bad. In a way, it is. But to really take on Chaos, you really have to formulate yourself and put yourself in a different mindset. And especially if you are playing as Space Marines, you know Chaos is going to have the Hatred special rule, or Preferred Enemy special rule, which adds more shots, more dice. So you have to think, okay, they're going to have Hatred, they're going to have Preferred Enemy. What else do they have that I really have to try and counter? Most of the time, the best way to counter is by putting a lot of shots on the table, or something on the table that they don't necessarily have the best answer to. Like, the best examples I've had is one game, opponent brought in Helldrake. This was right fresh when I had purchased the Hunter Stalker kit, and I ran the Stalker, and it took that Helldrake out in one turn. But I mentioned this scenario, I believe it was during the Demonkin video, but I played 2 games with a buddy of mine. He played a combination list of Demonkin and Chaos Space Marines. The first game I played was 1,000 points, and I played with Grey Knights. Thinking, okay, I'm going up against Chaos, so I'll bring Grey Knights. So I got my Psychers, and my preferred enemy is against demons. The second game, I believe, was either 1,250 or 1,500 points. And I had switched from from Grey Knight to run what I consider my standby army, my primary army, the Imperial Fists. And I squeaked out of that game with a victory. But it was only by 1 or 2 points because it was a Maelstrom mission. So Chaos is very, very difficult to deal with. Even though it is a very old codex, really the beginning of 6th edition is when the Chaos Space Marine Codex was updated. Even though it is way outclassed, way outdated, it can still put up a very good fight, depending on who you're playing. Against armies like Necrons or Tau, maybe it wouldn't be that much of a fight. But against Space Marines, even 7th edition Space Marines have difficulty with this. So what do you think? Am I right on? Do you think they should be higher? Or maybe do you agree with various other people? Do you believe they should be lower and the Demonkin become higher in the list?